Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you all doing today? I'm super excited for today's topic. Um, I was just about to light my bundle really quickly. How are you all doing this lovely Thursday? It's October. Can you believe it's October? Can you believe it's October? Um, Not only is it October, it's Thursday. It's money day. It's my favorite day. It should be your favorite day as well. Hi, Elmer. How's it going? How are you doing today? How's your energy? Barbara, how are you doing? I never know who's here because the number doesn't update for a minute. How are you all doing? Have you done your money practices for today? Did you blow your sentiment into the house on the first? It's important, the first of the month, to welcome money. How are you all doing? Um, I'm going to actually hop into the money flow in just a moment. Great, plenty of energy. Good. Yeah, today there's a lot. There's a lot going on. These last couple of days, a lot of shifts. Um, and they're not small shifts, they're really big shifts. So if you've been, hold on, my things are falling out. If you've been experiencing a lot of change, like big change, totally normal. It's just prepping you for October. I'm hoping my internet stays connected. Otherwise, I'm going to have to switch places, which is fine. Powerful, 10 feet tall, and Superman mode. That's amazing. Someone emailed me earlier today about Superman. I was like, what? And the other day, I saw someone who literally looked like, I can't remember the actor's name who recently played Superman, looked just like him. I was like, wow, twin. Hi, Nia. I'm good. How are you? Thanks, Elmer. Thank you so much. It's just braided today. I'm probably going to change it up. I think I need to, we'll see. Hold on. Let me shift my thing a little forward. I'm like just outside the reach. Okay. I'm gonna see if that helps. I just moved it just a tad. I'm a little bit closer. We're gonna see because my computer's fine, but StreamYard's acting weird. I have a Superman hat, so everyone in town calls me Superman. I love it. Nia, how's your energy? How's it going? Have you done your money practices today? Um, Today, I really wanted to talk about magic and money, but specifically unlocking your prosperity flow, especially with it being the beginning of October. Um, with also just there's a lot of energy in October, but it's going to be really different compared to September and the summertime. Um, Seeds that you planted a couple months ago are definitely going to be coming to fruition right now. And so I wanted to make sure that all of you have the tools that you need to really make these money breakthroughs so that you can have an awesome rest of the year. So the first part, so I'm going to go into any energy checks, mind shifts, and then magic meeting money, and then practical things that you can do daily. So if you have a notebook, great. Y'all know these will forget. I always have you have a notebook. And also just a reminder, tonight we're going over clairsentience, and we're specifically going to talk about psychic mediumship and navigating emotions when you're a channeler or a healer, or when you come into contact with other people and maybe you take on their energy. We're going to be going over that in detail tonight. There's actually a lot of content. So if you haven't booked your seat yet, I highly recommend you do it. I've been changing the theme each class. So this is going to be the only clairsentience class for the rest of the year because I have other topics. And I want to make sure that if everybody is on the same flow, then we can more easily make these shifts and quantum leaps together. I feel good today. I feel well rested after a period of overwhelm. I did my ancestor money today. Yay! And I speak to my money plans. I love it. I'm so happy that you are doing that. Yay, yay, yay. Ancestors, ancestors. There's a lot of ancestor energy right now. So definitely a good idea to soak it all in. Um, I'm also going to be doing burning money, ancestor money for my ancestors tonight, which I'm really excited about. I did my rising rituals, and then I'm going to shift into my evening ones later after these school for the gifted once I'm all cleansed. What about the rest of you on the call? Did you do your money practices today? Do you even have money practices? Um, so just a few intro things as a reminder. If you are having trouble manifesting money, or if you feel like you have trouble calling in money, or money has a little bit of a hesitancy coming towards you, usually the most common reasons are you have some sort of hidden fear, you have some sort of self-doubt, and you have some sort of scarcity that lives within you. Those are going to be the three most common things that go on in your life. And whether or not you actually are aware of them doesn't really matter, because the energy will still exist within you until you become aware, right? Like that is why it's so important to go through a spiritual awakening, to do your generational healing, so that the things that you don't know about come to the surface and you can actually improve your life. Um, so in terms of fusing your magic with your money and bringing it in, obviously, right? Having a flow throughout the day that assists your mental health, improving the way your body runs, like physically moving, swimming, yoga, meditation, all of that is also going to accompany your magic, because your magic is only going to be as strong or as potent as you are healthy. That's how it works. Um, if you do not take care of your body, your magic is not going to work well, and your money is not going to come in, because, again, money and love are very high frequencies. And so, in order for you to hold that frequency within your body, within your finances, within your business, they also have to be running quite well. Um, so, a few things that you can easily do today, right? Because we are in the beginning of October. If you haven't already blown cinnamon into your house, make sure you do that. That's a quick and easy trick that you can do at the beginning of every month. You always want to sweep your house from the back all the way to the front, out the front door. Make sure you are doing your floor washes. You can use lemon. You can put lemon on your countertops to bring luck. I actually, I didn't tell everybody, but I actually moved. God moved me again. And so when I moved into my place yesterday, I did a lot of cleansing, right? Like you always want to talk to the land that you are on if you are going on a money journey, or if you're healing your ancestor wound around money, because the land, the energy around you, your home, the way you navigate that space can hold trauma, but it can also hold a lot of abundance, or it can hold a little bit of resistance in terms of how your own energy is going to show up. That's why you see some practitioners who are root workers like give blessings to the land, or offerings and things like that. So one of the first things I did was definitely check in with the energy of where I was going to live, say hi, all those things. And then I went through and feng shuied everything, made sure the energy was good, made sure that um, things weren't chaotic. I shifted things around. I added gold accents is a great way to also attract wealth into your house. Um, Certain directions, like east, is a very auspicious direction for wealth, but it changes based on like your birthday, but most of the time east is really good for you. So I position things for the east. Whatever direction your feet are going are also important, just like your head direction is really important. Materials, making sure that your house is always clean is a great way to actually improve your wealth. And if you live with other people and you have to stay in like one space, because I've definitely been in that situation, always make sure that you ward the other side of your door, especially if you have people around you who are very like in the energy of scarcity, because they will bring down your money frequency. So putting a snake plant outside of your bedroom door, whatever room you stay in, is going to be super helpful because it wards off energy. wording the inside of your door, putting cinnamon above your door, and then making sure that your space is just always clean. Money plants are amazing. They actually will draw in certain deities as well, depending on how much you choose to take care of it and that sort of thing. And you can actually have your plant in your space, just don't put it too close to your bed because certain things you don't want facing your bed because you want to be able to rest and then help with your money expansion. Thanks, Nia. Thanks, Nia. Everybody else in the call, aside from Nia, did you do your money practices? I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you do them? If you don't respond, I'm going to assume that you didn't do them and you're not doing any sort of money practices. So I want to know if you did your money practices today. If not, will you be doing money practices? Yeah, it came quite quickly, this move. I just had to up and go. And this is why I always tell people, when spirit says it's time to go, it's time to go because there's a reason behind it. You just have to trust. And, I was traveling for a very long time, not that long ago, for like over a year. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I just have to go with it. And I love this space. I try not to get too attached because it serves a purpose. And then I kind of move on to the next one. And my friend actually was, you know, laughing because I was like, oh, I'm giving away all my clothes and things too. And then she's like, can I go through your bags? And I'm like, they're for people who don't have, have clothes. I'm like, not everybody lives the same life. They're like, you're ridiculous. I'm not ridiculous. I just listen to the universe. So if you feel like you are in the energy of letting go so that you can call in new wealth, I highly recommend you do it. Investing in yourself is also important for growing your wealth. So aside from doing your physical space, making sure that you take care of your body. Like for myself, like there's certain things that I always do, which I now will be doing now that I'm at a different location again. Like I always usually get my hair done, my nails, like it's just my way of treating my, hopefully it's not too loud. Um, and then I always go out with my friends to dinner, which I'll be doing very soon. I actually go on dinner dates a lot on the weekend, but we'll be having a weekly, like mid lunch or midweek thing going on. So make sure you're doing that as well, because if you're holding on to money so tightly that it can't even flow in, it likely means that you're not making time for joy either, which isn't going to help your wealth frequency because love, money, joy, right? All go together. Expressing gratitude for your money is also really important. So being at your altar, thanking, as Nia was saying, your ancestors, thanking money in general, expressing gratitude every single day for what you have over your head. If you have a roof, if you have water, if you have clothes, if you have fresh air, all these things. If you're not in a place where there's like chaos, that sort of stuff, express gratitude for all of it because it's a frequency. And also if you're a business owner and you are growing your business, express gratitude for all the clients that you have or are going to have, and that you have ability to be on the internet, like all sorts of things, right? Like if you're living with family, like be grateful. Even if you don't want to be around your family, be grateful that you have a place to grow your business in the meantime while you get on your feet. Z, I also did that spreadsheet and figured out how much money I would need to receive to feel comfortable taking the job if that's what I decided to. Oh my gosh, yay! How did it feel, Nia? Yeah, who else was here and did the spreadsheet? Oh, these comments are coming in funny because my internet, hold on. I feel good today. I feel well rested after a period of overwhelm. Good. I did my ancestor money today. Oh wait, I read that one. I totally read that one. Just kidding. They're doing this, which happens sometimes when my internet isn't good. Um, how did it feel? Did anybody else do the money putting, like creating a money document? Because I had shared that when I was doing my money and finances in the beginning of my journey, um, I always had a place for money to go, but I also knew what I needed to feel grounded and prosperous. And then as I added on things and was putting in projections and that sort of stuff, my money started to grow. And as I grew the number, I just kept manifesting it. And so that sheet became like a hub for all my finances, like all sorts of great things. So if you can, like, pay attention to that sort of stuff. So then not only are you creating that generational stability for yourself, but also you have your long-term goals and you are responsibly using money, right? Because sometimes the universe won't always give you money if you're not going to be fiscally responsible for it. And then at the same time, it allows you to manifest as well because you're looking at your finances. It felt great. It was easier and quicker to do than I thought it would be. Also, the number made me realize there's no room to question my worth or accept less than I deserve. I gotta live well. Exactly. And when you said amount you would have to take to feel comfortable, like, instead of accepting an amount that would help you feel comfortable, like, ask yourself if that's still a scarcity frequency, right? Because it's less so about accepting things that would help you feel comfortable, accept the things that make you feel excited, right? Like, is that frequency still a little bit too low? Someone recently was actually talking about that and how you define comfort and how you actually are picking your numbers is going to tell you everything about how you manifest. And obviously, as you're healing generational wounding and ancestral wounding, that capacity is going to change. But be mindful of even that verbiage if you are using it right. Like, instead of seeking comfort, can you seek like a life where you thrive? Right? Because comfort can be comfort can be like it's different for every person, right? Like, if one person can't really pay their bills at all, right? Comfort might be enough money to pay their bills. And so they will get enough money to pay their bills, but they won't necessarily have enough money to do all of the things that they want to do to have fun, right? To have a savings or to put into a 401k or to pay off debt or like all these things. So what does comfort mean to you? Or maybe you have the ability to pay your bills, but you don't have the ability to move, or you don't have the ability to get a car or, travel across the world, like, what does that really mean? Like, I invite you to like push it a little bit more. Um, and when I worked with folks who were heavily in corporate life, or decide to choose corporate life or do a balance, like whatever is right for you, um, being on the other side and being in HR and also, you know, being a hiring manager, like all those things, um, they will always try and um, hit within the budget that allows them to save money and potentially hire in other places or just redirect funds. So there's usually a much larger window that you can actually negotiate in. So remember that as well if you do plan to negotiate or what number you're willing to accept, right? You don't want to do anything that's too wild, but you also want to do something that's relevant to your worth and also makes you excited to show up and that sort of stuff. And but also leaving the door open for them to be able to negotiate as well. So see where your energy is living. So ancestor money, there's two different types. I use the one that's actually like Chinese money. There's like a ceremony, like a ritual you can do to burn it. I can't remember the name of the other one, but basically it's a way to thank your ancestors for helping you on the other side. So you're giving them payment. It's the one I have is like incense. It's kind of like instant money, but it's printed like money as well. So you would do it with your altar work. I usually burn it on Thursdays for my ancestors. say thank you anytime I get new clients, like that kind of stuff. I pay them. And I also try and put physical money out for my ancestors as well, and deities and whatnot. But it's a way to send it up because, sacred smoke is very strong. So when you burn the money, it goes up into like a prayer into the spiritual realm. Hi, how are you? Hey, my fairy family. Hi, how are you? We're talking about money practices. I don't know if Nia was the only one here from the last call, but have you done your money sheet, balancing those finances? Interesting. Thank you. I'll consider what excites me. Yes. I definitely budgeted in being able to have extra beyond my needs and responsibilities. Yes. Do that always, but there's a number that would make me more excited. Absolutely, go for that number. Manifest that number. Um, yeah, manifest it and also see around you like who your if you do have any friends around you right now, because I know a lot of us or a lot of the collective are like shifting friends. Um, See if what the frequency was of your past friends in terms of money and how they thought and like that sort of stuff, and see if you can change your frequency as well, right? Because your friend circle, how they speak about money, and how they manage their money is likely going to be identical to you in some way, shape, or form. So make sure that you are paying attention to that as well, because there was a point in my life where it was like I was manifesting money and I was always good with money. Um, but then there were people around me who were awful with money, like super awful with money. And then I started to see a trend in me where not only was I fearful about money, so I would attract those type of people, I was the one who was super abundant. And so I was constantly giving them money. And so I had to like sit and reflect on that also and that energy. But I invite everybody to kind of look at their friends and their family and folks they are being surrounded with right now. So you could get a good glimpse of literally your finances. And then every week, dig into your finances. Every single week, dig into that money. Um, yeah, right. Like living in the States, especially, I like money classes and things like that are not easy to come by. So unless you got it from your parents, you're not going to really know those things. And when it comes to spirituality and money, it's not really fused together in a practical sense. There's a huge part of spiritual practices where or spiritual teaching where people just want you to focus on manifesting. And while that is great, even if you manifest the money, how are you going to manage the money? Is the money going to run away? Right. That sort of stuff. And if you've gone through any deep trauma, especially as a person from a marginalized group, you also have to heal through that. So, as I'm telling Mia, like really think about an amount that would really excite you. I want you all to actually, if you could make any amount of money right now, what would you write? I want you to write it in the chat and don't be shy. Whatever number just popped in your head, write it in the chat. Yeah, life is a journey, right? It's always good to learn. Um, and there's many ways to thank your ancestors. That is the way that is. It's very close to me. Um, I also thank them in many other ways through food, through gifts, through money, through my crafts as well, by like channeling them a lot through the pieces I make, like that sort of stuff. Perfect, Mia. 80,000. Why 80,000? I'm curious. Why not 100,000 or like 200,000 or 500,000? Once you write your number, write why afterwards. Everybody write a number. I applaud you for being first. I applaud you for being first. Some people get really shy. They're like, what do I put? I want to see what everybody else writes. And then I want to pop, 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 pop. 50,000. Okay, why 50,000? I'm bringing this back because one of the lives I had mentioned how, like Jim Carrey was talking about everybody manifesting. Like our partner, and he was like, "Now, why did you manifest that partner?" Yeah, see, right? So if this is the number that you're wanting to manifest, why are you wanting to manifest it? Why not a different number? Oh, we push your energy. First number that came to my head. Ah, okay. That's my debt. Okay. You don't want any other money outside of your debt? Because you would pay that off, right? So everybody say their number. There's still other people on here who have not said a number. Put your number in the chat. Y'all are gonna manifest it. Mostly because you're open and talking about it. I wanna know. I was also just talking to someone about that. It's difficult to sometimes live in the US and not accumulate debt, like from the way our school system is set up, like unless you come from like activism wise, unless you are educated about manifesting and have access to that sort of funds and you go through the education system, that's likely to happen. Yes, I would pay off college debts. Okay. Um, Barbara, any money, you don't want any other money outside of that. That's just the amount you want. There's nothing else you're wanting to invest in. 50K a month made me feel excited because 25 didn't for some reason, although it'd be a blessing. 100,000 a month would be great, but that's where it feels a little scary. Ah, why does it feel scary? What feels scary about it compared to the other numbers? This is an interesting conversation compared to when we were talking about pricing. Remember, 100,000 will be so comfortable. But what number excites you now, Barbara? Now share what number excites you. Everybody, you're welcome to change your numbers if you want to. What number excites you the most? This is definitely a frequency because two of my other friends were like, I need to talk about my debt. Everybody's talking to me about money. I love it. I was in the ocean, like talking to my friends step by step on how to work with Ocean. I was like, you're lucky. This is like a 50K type an hour, my friend, and I'm doing it for you for free. Thanks for the update, Barbara. I'm still thinking. Okay, what number would excite you? What's everybody else's update? What number would excite you? Tell me. I also have to head out in like 5 or 6 minutes. I'm gonna eat dinner before tonight's class. 200,000 monthly for the rest of my life would be beautiful. I love that. 200,000. If I'm doing my math right. I don't even try to, I don't even, I don't even. My friend was like, if you just do this, it'll be the conversion of the. I was like, I don't care. I'm like, if anything, if science has taught me anything, it's you don't do your math in your head. Just saying. Ah, so 2.4 million a year. 2.4 million. Fun. What would you do? What would you do with that 2.4 million? I'm loving this. Where's everybody else's numbers? Where you at? Where you at? Why are y'all being the chicken? Everybody else put their numbers in here. What number excites you? Share, 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 share. Bam, 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 bam. I need to make some dinner. Share. Hiking Grizzly, we're talking about money. What amount of money would excite you? I don't want to hear comfortable. I don't want to hear no scarcity thoughts. I don't want to hear nothing below excites you. My eyes are itchy. I need to rinse my face. I think it's salt. I was swimming in the ocean today. Look at that. Wow, 12 million off the top. What would you do first? What would you do? Of course, you pulled the 10 of Pentacles card. What would you do first? We're going to stretch these capacities. What would you do first with your money, everybody? I'm going to hop off in like a couple minutes. Well, 1 million, that's it. Me wise because I'm worthy. I love that. Well, 1 million, that's it. 100 million. Thank God, pay off all debt. I know. The US, I was just saying it can be a challenge to be in the US and make it out of life without debt. To be honest. Okay, everybody tell me what you would do first with your money. What would you do first with your money? If you got that amount of money today, what would you do? I'm moving out of the US. Come on, people. If you got millions and millions of dollars, the first thing I want you to do is protect your assets and go handle it. And then move out of the US. You can't move out of the US too much. It's taken away. Everybody go talk to a financial professional, not a advisor. Those are different. I know. I want the first thing that also comes to your mind be financial success. Right. We were just talking about the Excel. It was a trick question. I wanted to see where everybody's head was at. I think that I'm thinking bigger. I love it. Pay my debt. This is so needed. My hubby just said that he dreamt of us winning the lottery. Aw. Yeah, you have to be able to protect your assets. Like, even if you won $50 million, like, you're not going to get $50 million and it doesn't pay all at once. And you need to have things set up correctly, right? Because you want your money to make money before you go spend your money. Most people lose all of their money from the lotto because they go and spend the money because they have no financial plan. Even within manifesting, it's important to have a financial plan, some sort of security, some sort of stability. Yes, you could make a move to be strategic about your money, right? Because that money is not just meant for you, it's for generations. It's also for you to take care of yourself. And I know that many of you also want to help humanity and that sort of stuff. So you have to also have a plan for your business and things like that, right? And depending on the type of debt that you have and depending on how you receive that money, there's ways to protect it so that you don't, you know what I mean? It's getting too financial. But I'm just saying, I want you all to also get in the rhythm of not fully being impulsive. Have a plan, put it on paper, work towards it, manifest it, build security. That's also how you live, right? Because there's this colonial way of manifesting money, which is quick, fast. I want it, I want it, I want it. And then there's the generational way of, yes, you can manifest large amounts of money, but you're also on a healing journey. Doesn't mean it won't show up randomly out of the blue, but it means the universe is also more likely to give you more money when you have a plan for it because it knows what your energy is trying to do. And also, if you are wanting to break generational cycles, you need to be different than other people. And how willing are you actually going to be to follow through with your your ideas around helping humanity and stability, and like, are you just going to buy like a giant mansion and a bunch of home, like what are you going to, like, think through these things so you have a plan to also help you manifest, right? It's not just energy that comes into your life and you just do whatever, right? Because it's also a gift from God. Yeah, there's a lot of taxes. Yeah, yeah. Build security. Build security. It's the same thing with building your business, right? There's going to be this yo-yo where like you're building your business, you're risking it all these things go right because you're learning your money frequency. And then in order to actually be successful, you have to have stability, right? And I was witnessing people because I love watching people and I love seeing how they spend money as entrepreneurs because I've also been there. I've also been there. And and so what also having a really good practice of giving away my things and like not hoarding stuff has also taught me that I need less than I think, which means I'm less impulsive. I'm way less impulsive because I will triple, quadruple, doubly, like beyond quadruple think about it, not in the sense of like scarcity, but in a practical sense. Like, like people, if you're, some people live in their houses and they're like, oh, I need to clear this out. Oh, I need to wash my clothes. Oh, they have this like laundry list of things that they have to do. It's because they have too much crap. They have too much crap. They have too many things to get to, right? And it's like, I don't carry a lot of crap. I'm not really impulsive. I don't hoard a lot of stuff. So I can easily go through my art. I can easily like pick up and leave. I can easily help people because I have the capacity. I can easily like do all these things. So make sure you're seeing the full picture of implementing your money and your magic together, right? Unlocking your prosperity flow means also having a place for it to go. We're going to rhyme. But being strategic about your money. Today was fun. Today was fun. I'm actually gonna go because I need to eat a snack before class. Um, but I do really want to make sure that even as a manifestation coach and a generational healer, that you understand the importance of practicality of when money comes in, what are you going to do with it? Right? Like think through these things. Be the CEO of your business. Be the humanitarian. Be the person who takes care of themselves. If you want to be that person, become that person, right? Like, think about it. Think about it. Noodle it. What would you do? Story of my life. My issue was oversharing with loved ones. Well, now you know. Now you know, right? And that's just the energy, right? Like we don't have to dwell on it, right? It just, it's, these are all lessons that everybody has to learn. I'm trying to throw you the lessons before you have to go out there and accidentally end up on the street because you didn't learn your lesson early enough. You're not fine by yourself, but I get what you're saying. You you need selective community. You cannot do this by yourself. You just need to be with the right community. Kevin. Happy to feel free to let me know if this was helpful in the comments. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go eat. Get ready for Z School for the Gifted. We're going to do Claire Sentience tonight. I also have some spots open in More Than Worthy at the equity spot still. And then towards the end of November, the equity spot is going to be shifting and just being the Divine Academy. So if you are wanting to be in More Than Worthy at the equity pricing, I highly recommend you join now so that you can actually get that price. Otherwise, you're going to be in Z School for the Gifted only and not in More Than Worthy at the same time. So do what you got to do, crunch those numbers. If you need extra help advising, like whatever you need, I am here for you. And again, the equity package includes like the first tier of More Than Worthy and also includes Z School for the Gifted and Magic to Market. So if you're building a business, it's great for that as well. So I will talk to you later. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad it was super helpful. I'm sending you lots of love. Hopefully I will see you all tonight. Bye.